Good afternoon, everybody. Edward Leos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and your host of Travel Talk. I'm actually really excited about today's episode. I've got Evelyne with Via Casablanca on the show. I didn't want to mess up her last name, so I'm actually going to let her say her last name. But Evelyne, welcome to the show. Excited to have you on.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm as excited as you are. And just to remove the ambiguity about my last name, it's Mondou, it's French.
Perfect. You said it so much better than I could even try to do that. But I'm really excited about having you on the podcast today. So for all of our guests, I always like to have them tell us a little bit about themselves, kind of how they got to where they are. And then we'll kind of jump into the business side of things with what you're doing at Via Casablanca and beyond. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Evelyne, and how you got into the industry.
How I get into the industry, it's circumstantial. That's all. I wasn't supposed to be there, like most people who are in my situation. I'm French Canadian, and I like traveling. I have a family. So when we became empty nesters, we wanted to discover the world, and the Caribbean was one of our favorite destinations.
Yep.
So my husband and I started to travel, and I've been in Barbados because someone told us that you don't know Caribbeans if you're not going to Barbados at least once in your life. So we end up in Barbados, fell in love with the place, and we told ourselves, one day we would like to have a place there.
Wow.
A few years later, after I finished all I was telling you earlier, I did my PhD in McGill University in Montreal, and I was ready to work in my field. And my husband told me, listen, we have to move Western Canada. And because of that, not sure you can start your own business.
Wow.
But so at the same time, we were still, looking for a property in the Caribbean. And in my mind, I wanted to have a condo, something small just for us.
Mm-hmm.
And someone told me, no, that's not where you want to go. And I said, explain to me. He says, no, with all your passion and your hobby, which are photography, cooking, wine, he said, you should look for a villa. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I never thought of myself, having a villa. And he says, no, not a villa for living in. A villa so you can, create a place where guests can come over and all the, a real thing.
Yep.
And so my husband and I spent a few weeks looking at different places in Barbados, and we didn't find what we were looking at. And again, same friend called me a week after. He said, there is one on the market, and I know you, this is yours. So I flew back to Barbados and called my husband and said, okay, put your phone on. We will walk through the property and you'll tell me what you think. And we made an offer the same day, and that's it. That's how we became owners of the Casablanca at Sandy Lane. The property, the moment you walked in, the moment the gates open, there's a feeling you have, and it's peaceful. It's yours. It's so private that you don't have to see the house to know that you need to be there.
Yeah. That's amazing. How long was that journey from wanting to get the house to the villa to actually getting it? What was that timeline like?
You have to adapt to how Caribbean works. So it's not like I have purchased last year a property and it took me a month to deal. But Barbados is a little bit slower. It's a different process.
Sure.
But a few months, and we were fully owners of the property. Bring it to the level where it is right now, it took a few years, and we had the pandemic too. So that's we had 2 years where business was slow. And but we used those 2 years, and thanks to our staff, we used those 2 years because we kept the staff and we created a small project for them to improve the property or to paint the room or fix the tennis court. Or so they were busy because I was making lists all the time.
Well, that's good. That's an incredible thing because you took something that was challenging and you turned it into a positive, which is what great leaders do. They find solutions in every challenge, and so that's kudos to you for doing that. For guests that are listening online or on the air right now, give me an idea of what they could expect when they go to your villa.
Okay. Let's start with the size. It's a property located on a 2 acres land, uh, a garden, a tropical garden,
Okay.
facing the Old Nine Golf Course. So facing west, so you have the amazing sunset. That's that's physically where we're located on the west coast of Barbados. The property itself, it's 9,000 square feet, approximately. Okay, separated on different spaces. So you have the main house where you have 5 bedrooms, you have 3 living rooms, and you have access from the main area to the pool. There's a gym in the main house also. There's a second smaller cottage where you have 2 bedrooms. Some people have used it for friends who are visiting during their stay. Some are using it at their office if they are, doing a workation.
Sure.
Some are using them for their staff who are traveling with them, and other are just extra space for the big family.
Mm-hmm.
We have a gazebo that will give you access of a very, very long wood table, again facing the pool. So al fresco dinner is definitely the way you're having your
Very
dinner
good.
in the villa. And we are very proud of how it is made and how you can face the pool and enjoy being outside. Because most of the people feel that the magic is so much there that they don't want to go out to have dinner. And we have an
Well,
amazing chef over that. So that's wonderful. Other thing we have at the villa is the tennis slash paddle slash pickleball, depending of what you want to play. That's principally what you have on the property. Um, so depending of what you want to do, you have a lot of private space, even if you're traveling with 13 of your relative, and at one point in time you feel that they are overwhelming. Uh, there's a lot of space and a
sure.
lot of privacy. Yeah,
There's space to escape. That's always a good thing
yeah.
on a vacation. When people are going to stay at Via Casablanca, how long is the average stay are you finding with your guests?
10 to 14 days is pretty much, the standard vacation. People will, it's very difficult, and I'm sure I have a family of 3 kids and 7 grandkids. So just having all of them at the same place, same moment is quite challenging, and it
Yep.
doesn't happen often. So having 14 people when the house is full is, for most of the family, they're facing the same challenge.
Yep.
So uh, and other than that, you'll have business retreat. You so again after 10 days, it's a very long business retreat if you
Oh,
have a
sure.
10 days business. So
No,
um,
definitely.
yeah,
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of options there on property, and I love what you're doing and how you walked us through that. So that's fantastic. As we're transitioning now, I want to ask you a couple of personal questions. I always ask my guests about traveling, since we are a travel talk podcast. What are some of your favorite places that you have traveled to so far?
just last January I was in Antarctica.
Wow.
Yeah, uh, spiritual. that's the first word that comes to mind when you think about traveling in Antarctica. At one point in time, on January 1st, we were on the ship. It was snowing. We could look at the icebergs, and whales were playing around the ship.
Wow.
It was magical. It's something that will be part of my last thought when I'll die.
Wow, that's amazing. That just for you, just saying that and explaining it, just is so incredible. Now trying to top that, what do you have on your bucket list? I don't know how you can top that, but what are some of your bucket list travel ideas?
I'm heading to Machu Picchu this summer, so that's my bucket list, and that's my next trip. So I'm looking forward to discover. I've been in Peru before for work, but
Mhm.
never for pleasure, and I'm looking forward to discover that part of the
Yeah.
world.
That sounds amazing. You're adding two things to my bucket list, talking about Antarctica and Machu Picchu as well. So I own a travel magazine, so you figure I should be traveling a little bit more. But that's my goal too, for sure. As we're wrapping up here, Evelyne, tell me any last final thoughts on what guests could experience at Via Casablanca. Anything special coming up this year or in the future that they need to know about?
Yeah, I think what is very important to understand is when you book a vacation at Casablanca, what we are offering you is not just a space, but it's a whole experience.
Yep.
And the experience is about what do you want yourself as a vacation. I like to define luxury not only as having a bespoke vacation, but a vacation at the level of your expectation.
Yeah.
What are your senses are asking for? What kind of food would you like to have? We have on site a staff that will make sure that your vacation is really yours. So the chef will build a menu for you. He'll make sure that you have the meals. If you have any allergy, you will make sure to take care of that. We have two amazing housekeepers. They'll make sure not only that your room is comfortable and clean, but they will do your laundry. So you don't have to worry of bringing a big, large suitcase.
Yeah.
Bring your favorite pieces, and you will be able to wear them most of the time.
Wow.
You have access to a butler. The butler will make sure to create a connection with the staff, with our concierge, so that we can create activities or your favorite drink, or make sure you have your 4 o'clock afternoon tea. So that's what we are offering to our guests. It's a vacation that is theirs. Our objective is that when you leave, yes, of course, we want you to be back, but we want to make sure that during the year, when it's very stressful and you're at work and you close your eyes, you think about Casablanca. That's our main objective. So we have access to a private beach club. So if you like the beach, you'll have that too. So it's just a matter of what exactly do you want, and we'll do our best to make it
Okay.
happen.
That's amazing. I love the experiential side of the travel options that you're offering. So, as far as for our readers and our listeners, what's the best way to find out about Via Casablanca?
We have a website, CasablancaBarbados.com, easy to remember.
Easy.
And there's a link to our email and phone number, so they can call us or email us directly, and we'll make sure to connect with them and make sure they can come to see and visit us.
That sounds perfect. We'll definitely have that in our comment section so people can find the property on there as well. Evelyne, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast. As I always say, they go by way too fast. I had a feeling that we could have talked about a lot of the things, not only the property, but your experience in Antarctica and some of the other things that you've done. Truly amazing background. Thank you for being on the show today, Evelyne.
Thank you, Edward. It was a real pleasure. And we're looking forward to see you at Casablanca.
I need to make my way out there. You got me. That is now on my bucket list. Just going out to your property and seeing that. So
Awesome.
we'll work to make that happen in some way, shape, or form. But to all my guests, to all my listeners and readers out there, please follow us on thehotelguide.com. At the same time, please like and share this because it's got some great content from Evelyne and what she's doing at Via Casablanca. And the last thing I always like to say is our tagline, travel and let's make some memories. Until the next time, everybody be safe and we'll talk soon. Take care.